Hello and welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Show. I am your host, Jay Jones. Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the Black community by promoting business ownership. If you are currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, we invite you to join us every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint.
Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 373. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have another outstanding and informative show in store for you. Today's show topic is a counterintuitive approach to building a brand, selling in retail first before selling online. A counterintuitive approach to building a brand, selling in retail first before selling online. Now, you guys know if you've listened to the show for any period of time that I am a big proponent of e-commerce. And today's show, I'm going to actually do something a little counterintuitive to what I normally talk about, because this is something I'm doing with my hot sauce brand, Hell Yeah Hot Sauce. Now, I am selling online, but I haven't really gone out and promoted it and ran ads that much because I'm actually trying to get it into retail establishments as we speak. And I'm making some great headway, and I just opened my first convenience store chain that I'll be talking about later on in today's show. But before we start today's episode, I just want to share a few things with the BEB family. First and foremost, I want to welcome all first-time listeners to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family. Please stick around until the end of today's broadcast, and I'm going to share all my social media contact information and my resource links, such as the link to my new book, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. Also, I've created 2 platforms to help circulate those dollars in the worldwide Black economy, BeSmartByBlack.com and HireBlackFreelancers.com. I also want to remind you about my new rebranded, rebooted BEB Academy. So anything that you want to learn in terms of entrepreneurship, it doesn't matter if you are a newbie, you're just starting your new business, or even thinking about a business, or if you're an experienced entrepreneur, go to BEBacademy.com. You get 5 days free access to all the online trainings, courses, master classes, and tutorials. Once again, 5 days free access to everything in the academy. Go to BEBacademy.com. Now, let's get ready for today's show. So today we're talking about a counterintuitive approach to building a brand, selling in retail first before selling online. Now, when I talk about building a brand, I'm talking about building something that is greater than an individual product. Just think about some of the brands that you use all the time. So it could be Nike, Adidas, whatever. It could be a food service product. Whatever it is, building a brand has greater value than building a one-off product. Because once people are bought into your brand, then all you're going to have to do now is introduce additional products and or services for that brand and increase your revenues. So we're really talking about building a brand. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, normally I'm super e-commerce, and I still am. But I'm going to try something a little different with my hot sauce company, and I'm going to tell you what the inspiration for today's show was. Several months back, I went to Asheville, North Carolina, which is a very nice town, especially if you're into food and drinking and outdoor activities such as hiking and kayaking and things of that nature. Very nice place. So as I was in Asheville, my wife and I would frequent the downtown, and we would just look in stores. She likes to window shop. And as we're in these stores, I always look at products because I'm a product guy. So I don't care where I am. It could be a big box retailer. It could be an independent store or whatever. I always look at the products. And if you're thinking about getting into the physical product space, make sure you start to look at the different products. But anyway, I'm looking at these products and I'm saying to myself, I've never even heard of half of these products before. And I checked online. A lot of them don't even have a real presence online. A couple of the products I saw didn't even have a website. So I started talking to one of the ladies behind the counter, and I was asking her about several products and how they sell. And she goes on to say that, oh, these are one of our best sellers. It was some type of body lotions and scrubs. And it was really a no-name brand, meaning that it wasn't a big major brand. And they didn't even have UPC codes on the packaging. So when you see the barcodes on the packaging, they didn't even have that on the packaging. They actually had printed out barcodes and stuck it on the bottom of the actual bottles. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. Now, once again, the store that I'm talking about was an independent store, was a smaller store. It wasn't a chain store. Because if it was a chain store, they definitely would have required the barcodes to be on the labeling. Anyway, I'm looking at these products and I see so many different products, and it comes to me and I said, you know what? These people are selling and they don't even have a real online presence, no website, no social media. And I started thinking, because it is hard, guys. E-commerce is not easy because you have to build up a base. You have to sell a product or service without people having to be able to physically touch it. So it's all a mental type of description that you have to create to make people buy your product when they can't touch it, taste it, smell it, feel it, or whatever. And so I started thinking, I'm like, man, how about if I do something that's counterintuitive for my Hell Yeah hot sauce, and I start going to retail first to drive the e-commerce sales, as opposed to trying to drive the e-commerce sales first and then go to retail. Once again, this is counterintuitive to the things that I teach and just the normal way things are done. But when I started talking to a lot of these shop owners, a lot of them were telling me, oh, yeah, these products sell and these products are selling. And I asked them, do they have any support from advertising or online sales? And they were like, no, a lot of these are small companies that just have great products that people love to buy. And I started thinking, the light bulb goes off and I'm like, you know what, man, let me start trying to focus on this just as a test to see if I can break into bigger retail stores and chains without having a super large e-commerce or online presence. So that's the inspiration for today's show. And as we go along, I'm going to keep you updated on hellyeahhotsauce.com. So if you're interested, this is a shameless plug, but hey, my stuff is good. If you love hot sauce, and I'm not talking about that watered down type of stuff that you get for $1.98 for a 5-ounce bottle. I'm talking about some serious stuff that I put some love into. Go to hellyeahhotsauce.com. Check it out. HELLYEAH hotsauce.com. hellyeahhotsauce.com. Check it out. Also, so I'm going to keep you guys updated on the process as I continue to try to get into retail stores to drive my e-commerce presence. Now, once again, my e-commerce or online presence, I haven't even really dropped too much stuff because I don't want to skew this test. Now, I've been putting out a couple things here and there, but nothing consistent. And somebody asked me the other day, why aren't you pushing it harder? I said, well, I need to get everything lined up first for my launch, my real launch. And so we're going to talk about the things that I put in place prior to actually trying to get into retail. But let's first talk about the reasons I decided to go into the consumable space or the food space and why this product or vertical. So something it's important because when you're selling one-off products, so if I'm selling watches, not that you won't buy more than one watch, but you're probably not going to buy a watch, consistently. All right. When my flat iron business, they buy my flat irons. They may buy one or two for family or friends, especially during the holiday season. But after that, how often are you going to buy a flat iron? So I wanted to get into a space that was a consumable. And since I, play around with hot sauce and I like hot sauce, I said, you know what? Let's go ahead and look at this hot sauce business and see what kind of damage we can make. Now, in addition to that, I have a seasoning line, which is the Hell Yeah Spices and Seasoning, and I'll have a barbecue sauce coming out under the Hell Yeah brand shortly too. So I'm working on creating a brand. And when I talk about going into retail, that's one of the things that you don't want to go in with just one product. So with my hot sauce right now, I have 4 flavors. If you go on the website, there are only 3 up right now. And the 4th one is getting ready to get put up, but it was being beta tested. And the test came back like amazing. It's probably going to be my number 1 or number 2 seller. But let's talk about the reasons I decided to get into the consumable space / the food business. Number 1, I wanted to think bigger in terms of retail. Bigger orders equal more revenue. So yes, I can sell, and I'm happy to sell online, onesies, twosies, 3-packs, and all of that good stuff. But if I can get bigger orders from retailers that are buying 144 units, which is a gross at a time, or they're buying even larger units than that, I'll take it. Now, once again, your profit margin when you're selling to retailers is not going to be as much, but you hope to make it up in the volume. So you're going to have a wholesale price. So if my hot sauce is selling for $14.95, I can't sell it to the retailer for $14.95. There has to be a wholesale price where the retailer can make money. But the first reason, number 1, you can get bigger orders, which equals more revenue. Second one is I want to create a line of consumable products that people will continue to buy. Okay, when you create a brand, not just a one-off product, you're creating products, hopefully consumables that people will continue to buy. So, for example, and a lot of times people have they have favorites, right? So you go into your store and you're going to buy the same stuff probably every time you go to the supermarket. So just think about brands like Morton Salt, right? Do you really see them advertising? They may be out there periodically, but Morton Salt. McCormick's, right? They have the seasonings, Lowry seasonings. See those? Do you really see them advertising? No. I get this thing called Lefty seasoning, which is a fish and chicken seasoning, which is the closest thing that I found to my grandmom's chicken. So I've never seen them advertise at all. Now, I know that I think they're based from a restaurant somewhere in Maryland, and they just started selling, but I've seen them in, Giant supermarket, Walmart, all over the place. Another thing that I get commonly is Honest Green Tea. So every time I go to the supermarket or my wife goes to the supermarket, she's going to buy that for me. Let me see. Hillshire Farms, like if we get the smoked sausage, Johnsonville Farms, we get the other sausage if we're grilling out and stuff like that. And in Philly, we have something called Amoroso rolls. So if you're getting a cheesesteak or hoagie, it's probably from a company called Amoroso, which is a local Philadelphia-owned company, and they make rolls. But they actually sell their rolls in the local supermarkets too. So what I wanted to do was create a line of consumable products that people will continue to buy. So just think about your buying habits when you go to the supermarket or you go to the store. You're probably buying the same stuff, with some variation every time you go. And I wanted to take advantage of that. Another reason I decided to get in this space is it's easier to scale physical units than it is to scale services. So scaling physical units, if I want to grow and scale my business, as opposed to selling 5,000 units this month, hopefully I can scale it up to 10,000, 15, 20,000. So it's easier to scale physical units than it is to scale services. So if I had a carpet cleaning business, right? And I have 24 hours in a day, I have a crew of X amount of people, it's easier for me to create more units and sell the units as it would be to hire, train, and get more crews for my carpet cleaning. All right. Another thing I looked at was you can be anonymous. Okay. How many owners of food and grocery companies do you know? Unless they have their name on the packaging, right? So who owns McCormick Spices? You don't know. Who owns Morton Salt? Probably somebody that was named Morton, but you don't know who they are. Who owns Honest Tea? So you really can be anonymous and grow and build your business. Okay, another reason I'm looking into this space is, once again, if you get just one large account, that can be a game changer. That can be a game changer. Say I get an order from Target or Whole Foods. That can generate hundreds of thousands of dollars as opposed to selling, one-offs online. Okay, once again, now I'm not going to make the same profit margin, but I'm looking to make that up in volume. Also, another benefit is, guys, once you get your product in the store, you can add additional products and even other brands that you've created. So once you have an inroads with a company and your product is moving or in the store, so as I mentioned, the Hell Yeah hot sauce, I have the Hell Yeah seasonings. I have one out right now on the website, but I have probably, I think, about 4 more that are about to drop. I'm going to then eventually drop the barbecue sauce, and I'm just going to continue to add to that line. So once you get one product in the store, you can add additional products. Also, you can add additional brands. And so I'm working on another brand that is a consumable based on some of my grandmother's recipes. And that's going to be named something else. And so if I get, in the Target and I'm doing well, hey, look, I got another product brand too. This is a brand and it's, in this space, do you want to try it? Ba, 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 ba. So these are some of the reasons that I decided to get into the food/consumable space. So you sell it one time, and if people like it, they'll continue to buy it. And so once again, I just want you guys to do something next time you're in a store. I don't care if it's a convenience store, supermarket, or whatever. Look at the products on there and then ask yourself, do you really see these companies advertising? Now, if they're big conglomerates like Kellogg's or something like that, yeah, you'll see that type of stuff. But start looking at some of the other products, and do these people really advertise? So that's where the counterintuitive approach comes from. Is like, I'm like, hey, if I can jump in and go straight to retail and have some limited success, that's going to help my online sales versus doing it the other way. Hey, let me try to build this online stuff and then jump into retail. Okay. So I do have a past history of selling in retail. Now, as is years ago, so I know the game has changed. But any of you longtime BEB family members might have listened to one of the shows where I talked about I had a condom business. My business partner and I had a condom business back in the early 90s, Zulu Condoms, the condom design with the black man in mind. And our moniker was Respect and Protect. And on the back of our packaging, we had data showing the repercussions of unsafe sex in the black community. And so we were able to get our products in the 7-Eleven nationwide, Pathmark supermarkets, Rite Aid, a whole bunch of independent convenience stores, novelty shops, and catalogs. And we did that. There was no internet right then. There was no online sales at that time. And so we went straight to market, straight to retail, and we're doing well. The problem is that the margins that we had weren't that great, especially selling from, direct to retail. So we had our product costs. We had to mark it up, sold it at wholesale. Then the retailers then marked it up and sold it to the consumers. So I'm all for direct to consumer. And I'm not saying don't do e-commerce. But once again, today I'm talking about a counterintuitive approach to building a brand. And I'm not just talking about a one-off product. Oh, yeah, I got, this one product and I want to sell. I'm talking about building a brand. And a brand is comprised of multiple products and multiple variations. Okay. So, but that's my past history in selling directly to retail, to big box stores and big brands. So we were rocking and rolling for a while. And once again, the profitability just wasn't there. And to be quite honest, at that time, I really didn't know what I was doing. My partner and I, we were living or this was just working out as we went along. And so, but that is part of the process. So now I'm coming back more equipped with more resources and ready to rock and take Hell Yeah hot sauce and all the other brands to retail. So let me talk about my counterintuitive thinking and why, and I'm going to break down some of these things. So Once again, I said I saw many products in stores that never had any type of advertising on TV or online at all when I was in Asheville. And I'm telling you guys, if you are a product type person, just go into some of these stores, especially like these local or independent stores, and look at some of the products that are in there. You have aprons with sayings on them, right? You got bibs. I mean, who can't produce that? You have bibs with sayings on them. You ever go into the stores like these old country stores, and they'll have pieces of wood, they say grandmom's house, welcome to the kitchen, whatever. People are selling these things like crazy, these manufacturers. So it doesn't have to be something revolutionary. Okay. The difference is if I'm traveling somewhere and those little shot glasses that, welcome to Asheville, welcome to Charlotte, wherever you are. All right. They're not advertising anything. But what they are, they're in these convenience stores and these not these chain stores and these independent stores, and they're local based products. The manufacturer may not be local, but they're aligning that product with that region or that city or state. So next time you go in a store, start thinking about or looking at a store differently or the products in the store differently. Don't look at it as a consumer. Look at these products as producer. That's what you want to start thinking as a producer. So everything that you see, when you look around, I don't care where you are. You could be in your car right now. You could be on the treadmill. You could be sitting behind your desk. You could be at work. Every physical thing that you see, somebody produced. And trust me, a lot of this stuff isn't sexy. I'm sitting here at my desk in my office. I'm looking at this microphone. I'm looking at a mic stand. I'm looking at a pop filter. I'm looking at a little cup that I'm drinking out of. I'm looking at this lamp with a lampshade. All of this type of stuff somebody produced. So it doesn't have to be sexy. All right, understand that. So I'm going back to the counterintuitive thinking and why I started thinking like this. Next, like I said, many of these products didn't even have an online presence, no website or social media. Also, it's easier for consumers to buy if they can physically see and touch, taste, smell your product versus online sales where the customer has no experience with your product or brand and relies on product reviews. So that goes specifically to Amazon, right? So when I drop physical products and I'm selling online, the first thing I need is reviews, right? I need to get some solid reviews out there because prospective customers can't pick it up. They can't touch it. They can't smell it. Or taste it. So you need to have reviews. So selling online is totally different from selling versus in retail stores. And also one of the biggest factors is credibility. So when you go online, the reason you look for the reviews is to confirm credibility, right? Well, damn, this product looks good, but nobody left a review, so I don't know if it's good or not. Now, if you go into a Rite Aid or a Walgreens or a Pathmark or Whole Foods and you see a product, Hell Yeah hot sauce sitting on the shelf, there's no credibility issue, right? Because it wouldn't be sitting here if Target didn't like the product or co-sign on the product. Okay, so credibility is big in terms of physical product sales if you're selling in retail versus if you're selling online. Once again, I'm a big proponent of online, so don't get it twisted. But I'm doing something counterintuitive because I think I have a better opportunity to grow this business faster if I go to retail first. Now, let me talk about a few key factors that I addressed prior to going retail that if you're thinking about this, that you need to do too. But before we do that real quick, let me just share my social media contact information and my resource links with the BEB family. Now, at the top of the show, I mentioned my new book, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. You can go to anewblackwallstreet.com. Pick yourself up a copy, $14.95 for the print version, $9.95 for the digital version. Now, if you need additional assistance building your successful, sustainable e-commerce business, My flagship program is available pound for pound. It's called Brand Builder Academy Elite. BBAElite.com. BBAElite.com. It's a 15-week all-intensive implementation program to take you from product ideation all the way to creating your product brand and selling it on your platform and other platforms. So if you're serious about building a physical or digital products brand, go to BBAElite.com, put in the code BBAElite100 and save $100 off that. Now, I also mentioned at the top of the show the two platforms I've created to help circulate dollars in the worldwide black economy. The first one is BeSmartByBlack.com. So if you are a black product producer and you want to sell your product to black consumers worldwide, upload your product information to BeSmartByBlack.com. It is free. Now you can connect with consumers, black consumers worldwide that want to buy your products. Now, I didn't forget about you freelancers. So if you do anything on Fiverr.com or Freelancer.com, upload your information to Hire Black Freelancers, HIRE, blackfreelancers.com. Once again, it is free. Now you can connect with black businesses and black consumers that want to hire black freelancers. All right. Now, also mentioned at the top of the show, if you need any type of education, BEBacademy.com, BEBacademy.com. I have all my online trainings, courses, master classes, and everything there. It's 5 days free access. Go to BEBacademy.com. I know that's a mouthful. Everything is on one of my web pages called BEB Connect. So just go to BEBconnect.com. Everything I just mentioned has a link on that page on the website. Now, if you want to reach out to me, I have these links on BEBconnect.com also. Anything long, family, hit me on my email, jjones@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, JAYJONES@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, Facebook, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, Twitter, jjones001, JAYJONES001. Instagram, I have 2 IG accounts. The first one is jjones for real, JAYJONES, the number 4, REAL. Also, the second one is Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Also, make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. I have additional content on YouTube that is not on the podcast. Yes, the podcast does come out on YouTube every day, but go to YouTube, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint and hit that subscribe button. Also, LinkedIn, connect with me on LinkedIn. Just look for J Jones, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. If you're on Clubhouse, connect with me at I am J Jones, at I am J Jones. So make sure you link up with me. And once again, all of this can be found at BEBconnect.com. I can't wait until the new website is up and you'll be able to find whatever you need directly by going to BEBconnect.com, and it's going to give you some questions and it's going to take you to the resources that you need. All right, getting back to today's show, we're about to close it on out, the last quarter of the show. And today we're talking about a counterintuitive approach to building a brand, selling in retail first before selling online. A counterintuitive approach to building a brand, selling in retail first before selling online. Now, here's some of the key factors that I addressed prior to trying to get into retail. So you got to be what I call retail ready. And I talked about this on the show several months ago. But you can't come in there, excuse the French, half-ass and expect retailers to buy your product. All right. They want to buy products that are going to sell. They don't want your product sitting there. Now, one of the drawbacks is, depending upon your agreement with these retailers, if your product doesn't sell, you're going to have to buy that product back. And it all depends on the retailer and the agreements that you make. But here's some of the things I addressed prior to trying to go retail. And I'll tell you about one of a convenience store chain that I'm actually in the test process right now. I'm testing out my mini bottles in several stores, and I'll tell you about that shortly. So first thing I did, which I did many years ago, I got my minority supplier certification. So this will allow me to go directly to suppliers that are looking to work with minority vendors. So I went to nmsdc.org, National Minority Supplier Development Corporation. I think that's what it stands for, nmsdc.org. Now, once again, guys, all of this information and the links will be in the newsletter. So go to bebconnect.com. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter. It should be on the left-hand side or on the top when you go in. And the newsletter drops every Monday and every Thursday, twice a week. And it'll have all the show notes for the latest episode. So if you're jogging right now in the car or whatever at work and can't write stuff down, then make sure you sign up for the newsletter, and everything that I talk about in the show and the links will be in the show notes. Okay. So first thing I did, once again, I signed up and got my minority supplier certification. And once again, the reason being is, as opposed to going into the portal with everybody else and their grandmother, now I'm focusing on those buyers that work specifically with minority corporations. So there's a couple of platforms out there that you can put up your product and pray that somebody picks it up. Two of the most popular are RangeMe and Fair.com. So let me go to the websites real quick. So Range, it's RANGEME, RangeMe.com. And that's where you can get discovered by a lot of the big, retailers. Once again, though, you're putting your information in and you're praying somebody likes or even looks at your product, and then hopefully you can negotiate. And that's more for larger stores. Now, if you want to tackle like the independent stores, there's a site called Fair.com, Faire, Fair.com, and you can actually, this is for wholesale sales. So it's over 20,000 independent brands that are on there now that use Fair to connect mostly with independent stores and retailers. So, and once again, Fair takes a percentage of your wholesale sale, and RangeMe, I forgot how they get paid, but those will be on the show notes. RangeMe.com and Fair, Faire.com. These two platforms can help you get into retail locations. I would definitely, though, recommend getting minority certified. Also, I mentioned, guys, earlier about getting retail ready, and I'm just going to talk about a few things that are going to help you get retail ready. First one is professional looking packaging and labeling. Okay, professional looking packaging and labeling. So you can't go into a retailer and you got labels are crooked, you got misspelled stuff on your labels, your packaging looks like a 6-year-old made it. You got to be retail ready. Remember, it's all about presentation when you're in the retail establishment. So if everybody else in your product area looks nice and then you have something that looks raggedy, what do you think is going to happen? Nobody's going to buy your product, right? So once again, being retail ready, professional looking packaging and labeling. One of the tricks is, how do your competitors package their products? And the reason this is important is because if, just say hot sauce, for example, right? You go in your supermarket and you're looking for hot sauce. Most of your hot sauces are in 5-ounce, what they call woozy bottles, or 5-ounce bottles. That's the majority of them. Now, they have some that are a little taller, some a little bigger. There are not too many variations. So the reason that this is important is, if you're trying to get on the shelf and you have a 16-ounce bottle of hot sauce, guess what? You're not going to fit where the rest of the hot sauces are, right? Also, another thing you want to think about, if you're selling something that's in they call it a hang tag, right? So how is your product going to be displayed? So do you need hooks on your product? And there's several types of hooks. There's the long hook, or you have like that little circular, like an eye that you slide the hang tag through, and it's just a little circle. So look at the type of product that you're selling. Look at your competitors and see how they package their product, because you don't want to be too out of whack with that, because the buyer may say, hey, I like your product, but you got a 16-ounce bottle of hot sauce and there's nowhere to fit it over here. I can't fit it in the shelf. Oh, we like your product, but you don't have a hang tag over there, so we can't put you with the rest of the peanuts and potato chips and crackers. Okay, so that's being part of retail ready. All right, professional looking packaging and labeling, and look at how your competitors actually package their product. Next, this is super big, and I mentioned this earlier, UPC codes, right? UPC codes for scanning. Now, I mentioned to you earlier when I was in that store, one store in Asheville, there was some nice looking products, some like lotions and scrub products, but they actually on the bottom, I looked at their label and I'm like, man, they don't even have a UPC code. I picked up the bottom of it and looked at the bottom of the package, and they had somebody physically printed out UPC codes on a printer and stuck them on the bottom of the actual bottle, which that's not professional. Okay. Now, it may be good if you're a mom and pop and that's all you're trying to get into. But if you're trying to break the big time, you need UPC codes for scanning. And where you get your own UPC codes, guys, is gs1us.org. GS stands for Government Services. gs1us.org. O-R-G. Once again, all of this will be in the notes, and there's a link to this, link to everything that I'm talking about. So now you can go and get your UPC codes online for cheaper, but they won't be directed back to your company. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. If you're serious about building a brand and getting into retail, the only place you can get your own UPC codes is at gs1us.org. If you're buying it somewhere else, that identifying number actually identifies whatever company that is as the owner of the product. So don't cheap. There's certain things you can't skimp on. All right. So if you want, somebody buys your product and another store owner sees it, oh man, I want to buy this product. They scan your product. It's going to come up with somebody else's company. So you have to get your own. All right. Definitely do that if you're serious. The other thing about getting retail ready, just in my example anyway, I was telling my buddy, he was like, man, when you going to start selling to retailers? I'm like, yo, dude, you got to have everything in order. So I've got custom printed countertop point of purchase displays for convenience stores for my mini bottles. So I have the standard 5-ounce Hell Yeah hot sauce, flavors. And then I have the mini bottles. So if you've ever gone into a hotel and you see the little mini bottles, alcohol, that's the same type of bottle. I have these mini bottles that I can go now market to convenience stores, and I can have them on the countertop. And it's a custom printed point of purchase display that now when I mail it, all they do is it's perforated. They pop open the top, stick the backboard down. Now they can stick that right on their countertop. I'm making it easy for them. Now, it took time to get that design done. It took time for the printers to get it done. And so that slowed down the process. But once again, I'm trying to be retail ready. So when they say, yo, Jay, oh man, we need, X amount of boxes of this to test out at our store, and I'll tell you about that in a second, I'm ready to rock. Okay, it's professional. It looks good. It presents well. And that's what these retail chains want. Another thing about getting retail ready, you need a professional sell sheet for the retailers. So what happens now, you're not going to send your samples right away. What you want to do is when you reach out to these retailers, you send them what's called a sell sheet. And it's usually a one sheet or sell sheet. It's one sheet. It talks about your product or products. Gives them the benefits of the products, breaks down the actual packaging size, everything for it. So when the buyer looks at it and it's done professionally with great professional photographs, oh yeah, I like this Hell Yeah hot sauce. Let me place a test order. Okay. And so that brings me to my next point about being retail ready. When these buyers are ready to buy your product, they're ready to buy ASAP. So before you even start to market your product to retailers, you need to be signed up as a vendor for that company. So if you want to approach it's not even in business anymore, Walgreens, you need to make sure that you become a vendor for Walgreens before you reach out to that buyer. Because this way, it's less friction. Oh, you like Hell Yeah hot sauce? Cool. I'm already an approved vendor for your company. I have all the insurance that you need, and the product is ready to go. How many would you like? So already be signed up as a vendor for that company that you approach. and certain companies are going to require certain things. There's obviously liability insurance and things of that nature, but you go through and target the vendors that you want to work with, and then you go ahead and you get everything that they need so you can be an approved vendor. So when that buyer says, yeah, I like this, then you can ready to ship. All right. So also, and that's key because buyers don't want to have to wait if they really like that product. That could be the difference. You being ready could be the difference of a couple $100,000 order or $10,000+ order versus nothing. Another thing is, guys, you have to have adequate inventory for your initial orders. Adequate inventory. So if that buyer from Walgreens says, yeah, I need, and they're not going to give you crazy orders off the muscle, off the top. They're going to test you. So if they said, yeah, we want to try 500 units, 100 in these 5 stores, you need to have that available. And you need to be able to live up to what you tell them in terms of your shipping and delivery dates. We're not even going to get into the logistics of this because logistics can make or break a product or a brand. Your shipping costs, all of that type of stuff. So you have to have adequate inventory for your initial orders. Now, I know one of the big questions is what happens if I get a big order and I don't have the money to buy the product to fulfill the orders. All right. So there's factoring companies that will factor an invoice, meaning they'll give you, say, 85%. So if you get a $10,000 order from Walgreens, that's your price, $10,000 wholesale price, which you're selling it to Walgreens for. They're factoring companies that say will give you 85% of that, and they keep the 15 for giving you the money. So you'll get $8,500. You take that $8,500, you go, order your product. So that product may cost you $4,000. And so now you made $4,500, and the company gets the retailer actually gets your product. You don't even have the money. So that's called factoring, invoice factoring. Now, if you have big major companies that want to buy your product, Target, Walmart, any of these major stores or chains, it's very simple to get factoring. So don't worry because it's based on the actual order. It's not based on your personal credit or your business credit. So that's something else as we dig deeper, and I'll keep you guys abreast of everything. But before we close out, let me just tell you, right now I'm working with a regional convenience store chain that has over like 800 different locations. And obviously, I don't even want an order for the whole thing because that's crazy. So we're going to be testing out within the next couple of weeks 20 local stores. And we're going to be testing them out with the 5-ounce bottles, which are the regular size bottles, and also the mini bottles. And for convenience stores, my personal opinion, we'll let the data play it out, is I think the mini bottles will probably be a better and easier sell, because if they sell, food, pizza, chicken, whatever in that convenience store chain, and you got this hell yeah gourmet hot sauce out there that's banging, people start getting a little taste of that thing. Oh yeah, that's what's up. And then once again, the physical product in retail stores is used to drive the actual online sales. So when they go in the store and they like it, man, I need some more bottles of this. Well, let me order a bigger bottle of this. On my point of purchase display and on the product, there's a QR code. So if you're going to check out, right, you can actually scan the point of purchase display and it'll take you to the website. So these are things that make your products retail ready. And so once again, we're doing a counterintuitive approach to building a brand, selling in retail first before selling online. And I'll keep you guys abreast of what's going on. Also, which is something applicable to this episode, make sure if you want to learn how to build a brand, go to bbaelite.com. BBA Elite, which stands for Brand Builder Academy Elite.com. Use the coupon code BBA Elite 100. Before we close on out, guys, I say this each and every week, but it's true. We get more and more downloads, and that's attributed to you, the BEB family. Once again, guys, we're trying to spread this good word, and we're trying to build an economic power base in the worldwide black economy by building and supporting Black-owned businesses. So please continue to spread the word about the podcast, the blog, and all of the ecosystem around Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Also, once again, if you like premium high-end hot sauce, don't sleep. Go to hellyeahhotsauce.com, hellyeahhotsauce.com. Hopefully coming to a retailer near you. Love you guys. See you same time next week. Peace.